In today's episode, we're talking about all the things that have icked us out on social media in 2024 that we really hope will stay in 2024 and not come into 2025.
Welcome to JFDI with the two Lauras, the show where we share tips, advice, and sometimes quite strong opinions on life working in the world of social media. Working in social media on a day-to-day basis means we, like you, are witnessing all sorts of shoddy behaviour, dodgy trends, and quite frankly, crap marketing. So on the show today, we're discussing all the things we've stumbled across in 2024 that we hope don't come with us into 2025. I think we're going to enjoy this one.
Can I just say in that intro, when you just said we have sometimes quite strong opinions, this podcast is probably going to be filled with very strong opinions. Yes. So if you're not a fan of that, at least you've been warned.
Yeah.
Okay, where are we starting? You start.
Okay, I think the biggest one that's really bugged us this year is the whole faceless marketer, reseller bullshit that has kind of bumbled along throughout the year.
Yeah.
We have done a separate podcast on this, which we'll link to in the show notes, so we don't want to go too much into this. But just as a caveat, that we're not talking about people who are active on social media and just don't show their face.
No.
Like, because last time we recorded a podcast, there was lots of people saying, oh, but I don't like showing my face. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the people who are reselling. What is it called? Can you remember?
They call it MRR, don't they? Master Resale Rights or something. They're basically reselling someone else's course. It's affiliate marketing, but rebranded. Yeah.
But it has bumbled on all year, hasn't it? It's like we've written a blog on it, and obviously, as I say, we've done the podcast, and it's one of our most read blogs this year. And like when we did that last podcast and we did a bit of research on it, I joined one of these faceless marketers Facebook groups to just have a gander, see what was going down, what people were talking about. It is now, actually, I should have checked this morning, but it's well into the 80, possibly even 90,000 members now. And honestly, given that they're meant to be positioning themselves as digital marketers, it's shocking what people ask in there, the naivety that's in there, people thinking, oh, this is just, I'm going to make my millions. And it's just all bullshit. And I find it really sad.
Yeah, and I think if you haven't seen this on social, like I think we should be very clear about what it is. It's people who are saying that they are digital marketers, but all they're selling is a course that basically supposedly teaches people to be digital marketers, but the way that they are going to make money is by reselling the course that teaches people to be digital marketers. So it's like on the face of it, it's almost like a pyramid scheme, but you're keeping all of the revenue apparently. We've not looked into it, we've not bought the course or anything like that, so we don't really know that side of it. But the thing that irks me most about it, well, there's a few, but one of them is the fact that they're calling themselves digital marketers. They are not digital marketers. They are people who are selling something, right? They're not digital marketers. A digital marketer knows how to do all aspects of marketing and probably does it for themselves or does it for clients, right? They're not doing that. They are instead creating what they say are viral reels, but it's mostly an engagement pod that's commenting and sharing their reels. And in those reels, it's just all income claims. And the thing that annoys me most is that these people are on Instagram talking about how much money they're making. I'm making this much money, and I'm just staying at home with my kids because I'm making so much money. Blah blah blah. And then they're on Threads going, I haven't sold this course this month. I don't know how other people are making money. I can't sell it. So like, hang on a minute. You're telling people on one platform about how amazing it is and how much money they can make, but on the other platform, you're telling people that you're not making any money. It's like, come on.
And a lot of them are spending, if they are making money, they're also spending a lot of money on ads. So, it's not profit anyway.
Yeah, totally.
It's just all just icky.
It's just so shady.
It's just not. And I think when you're a, true, ethical, good marketer, it's just irritating.
Yeah, totally. And it's stopping people wanting to call themselves digital marketers, which is a real shame. But there we go. So yeah, let's hope that stays this year and then we don't see it again next year.
Yeah, I want that one to dwindle out.
Yeah, just die a death.
Okay, slightly, so that was quite a biggie. That's like a big one that's like basically pissed us off all year. And we just like, we're going to get rid of it. We're going to move on. You know, we're not going to talk about it in 2025. You know, this is like our therapy session. We've spoken about it. We're going to move on. The next thing, which probably bugs me in equal measures, to be honest, if not maybe more, is I cannot bear when people create banner posts for their top 3 pinned posts that the individual posts do not work on their own. So they write the word marketing. I can't think of a word. They wrote the word marketing that sits over 3 Instagram squares. So then you go on Instagram, and all you can see is a post with MAR on, and you're like, what the fuck is that? And they forget that everyone thinks about their grid, don't they? Does my grid look good? Is it aesthetically pleasing? So they have these banner 3 posts pinned to the top of their Instagram, but they forget that the large majority of their audience, or people who don't know them, are seeing them either in Explore, where they're only seeing the one. All 3 posts aren't going to end up in Explore Love in the right order, or they're in their feed again, where it's just the one post. It honestly drives me up the wall that people forget how people are finding your posts, and they're not finding them as 3 pinned posts. I tell you now.
This used to annoy us when it was puzzle grids and you would get half of a dog's arse on a picture.
But you're still getting half a dog's arse.
Yeah, but these days it's worse because you're getting half of a word or like the first letter of a word, and like it's not even like it's a hook that makes you go, oh my God, I want to know what the rest of the word says. It's just one word. I remember we saw one this week, actually. I took a screenshot and sent it to Laura in Slack, and I was like, what the fuck is this? And it was literally like someone had written a whole kind of like sales pitch across these 3 posts. And when they're in Canva, it probably looked brilliant. And when you're on the profile, it probably looks great. But when it's going through the feed, and you can just see like half of a sentence, then half of another sentence, and you're like, what the hell is this? It's dire. And like, it's bad enough coming from normal people, but when it comes from social media managers who theoretically know how to use the platforms, know how the feed works, know where that content is shown, then that's when it really icks me out. It's so important to really think about who is seeing this content and where are they seeing it. Because yes, we all want our profiles to look amazing. We all want our profiles to do the job for us. But those top 3 posts that are pinned in your profile, they need to do a good job for you. And if you're using all 3 of those posts to tell one story, first of all, what a waste. Like, you've got 3 opportunities to tell 3 different stories in that, and you're using them all to tell one story. Like, that just seems pointless to me. But if they're not working everywhere else where those posts can be seen, you're missing an opportunity. They can be seen in the feed. They can be seen in Explore. Somebody could share it to stories. You could share it to stories. You know, you could embed it on your website. But because it's like cropped off, it's just wasted. And I feel like this is just a high horse we're never going to get off.
Well, maybe not, but maybe we just need to speak louder. Maybe when the world listens to this podcast, everyone will make, it will make sense. But I think before we move on, we're not saying pinned posts aren't good. They
not.
are.
No, absolutely
but each individual post has to work on its own, both visually and strategically, and they don't all have to be posted at one time. Like, we often update, like, we'll put a new post out and we'll go, right, we'll put this post out. It's a good post. This is the aim of the post, but we're also going to pin this post.
Yeah.
But we're not doing all 3 at once.
No. So like right now we've got 3 pinned posts. I've just opened our Instagram. We've got a post that is our non-wanky founder story. So that's just all about us, which we did create to pin. We've got another post that is about the toolkit. And we've got another post that is carousel ideas for social media managers. So they're 3 different posts that tell 3 different stories that are helpful and useful to our audience, and people landing on our profile can see immediately who we are, how we can help them, and they can get something for free. But they're useful for us as well because they're doing some of the work for us. So you really need to think about what is it that you want people to know when they land on your profile but when it goes through the news feed, make it useful and helpful for people too. And I would imagine that most of the people who've seen those posts have seen them in the news feed, not on our profile. It's a shame there's no stats for that.
I know. Shame.
Anyways. Okay, I'm going in with one.
Go on.
Right, I am going in with, and I know you've probably got something that will tie in with this, I am going in with the thing that I want to not see again next year is keyword stuffing on posts. You know when you see a post and it's like, like the caption's great, and then at the bottom it's like, Instagram coach, Instagram marketing, Insta 2024, Insta, and it's like, okay, hang on. First of all, why are you not using hashtags? And secondly, if you're all about Instagram and Instagram marketing, your keywords should be in the caption that you've just written. Like, why are you putting them at the bottom as well? It's just,
I feel like the world is divided between either not knowing about keywords and not knowing how to use them. So that's like, good content for social media managers. We need to continue to be educating people on how to use keywords. Or they know about keywords, but they're doing that keyword stuffing and not thinking about how to use them more strategically.
Or they know about keywords, they know how to use them, but then someone who's got more followers than them stuffs a load of keywords and they're like, oh, that's what I need to do. So then they go and do it, even though they know it's not the thing to do.
Yeah, believing people just because they've got more followers is a really, really slippery, dangerous slope to go down.
Yeah.
But alongside that, I also think in 2024, and going into 2025, we need to just sort our hashtag shit out. I reckon I could write a book as big as Lord of the Rings on the bullshit that has been around hashtag use since I started in this industry.
And like, not just on Instagram, like everywhere.
Oh, yeah, totally. Like on TikTok, which I'd say is my most used platform personally now, everyone is still putting hashtag FYP. Like they think that that's going to get them on the For You page. Or FYYPPPPPPPPPPPPPPP.
What?
I know.
Who the hell did that?
I'll have to take a screenshot and send it to you next time.
Well, hang on. Are these just like TikTokers or are these marketing TikTokers?
No, there's both.
Oh, how weird.
There's businesses who do it. There's individual people who do it. My son does it. But
your son needs educating, Laura. Come on.
I have.
I blame the parents.
I have. And interestingly, he said, I want more views on my TikToks. I don't know what to do. And so I sat down with him and talked to him about it. And the one video TikTok I helped him create had the most views he's ever had.
Amazing.
Anyway. No, it's businesses. It's obviously somebody saying to somebody, use FYP or FYYYPPPPPPPPPPPP.
Is that the correct amount of P's? Did you actually count them?
Like, I'd straight away be thinking, how many P's is that? So, yeah, it's just very broad hashtags. Like, just be specific. You don't have to just put these silly hashtags in. It's not going to get you anywhere. Just don't do it.
I feel like social media managers have got a job here where they could really educate people as to what hashtags are, how they work, like what is the purpose of them.
Yeah.
And, there's great content in this.
No one is doing that anymore. No one is educating people on hashtags. Like, why? Do we think it's to 2010? Like, it's still relevant. But all I see about hashtags is bullshit. There's so much opportunity out there to create good educational content about hashtags. It's still relevant. It's still needed. And definitely also content on keywords. 100% is needed.
Yeah, definitely agree. And for all platforms, like we've only just spoke about Instagram and TikTok, but like people are using hashtags unnecessarily on other platforms, LinkedIn, Facebook groups, etc., where they're not useful. And so I feel like there's just such a good education piece that people can be doing, no matter what platform it is that you specify that you work on, you're the expert in. You can be educating people on whether they do need to use hashtags, whether they don't, how they can use them if they do need to use them, what they shouldn't be doing. And if you're on a platform that doesn't use hashtags, guaranteed SEO is a thing on that platform because it's a thing on most platforms now. Right. So keywords is like, teach people keywords. I'm not seeing any of that content. It's really weird.
It is weird and it annoys me. Like when I use social media for search all the time now, personally,
even I do now.
If I'm looking for something, holidays, clothes, everything. I'm just searching on social media, and it annoys me that not enough of what I want to see is on there.
Yeah.
It's so annoying.
It annoys me. This is slightly on a tangent, but it annoys me as well when you're searching for things on social media and the only responses are video. Because as much as I love video, like I've recently been looking for some new earrings, and as much as I love video, I don't want to just watch a video about them. I want to be able to see them properly.
Yeah, zoom in a bit.
That's another thing. That's another thing that I think is important. That was just a real tangent. So I've got another ick, which your son is not going to like. Sorry about this, George.
Oh, yeah, no, I was thinking about him when... Yeah, go on. I know what you're going to say.
It's people posting purely because they want more views. Now, George is not a marketer. He's not a business owner. I will let him off.
He's 14 and posts videos about planes.
He's allowed. I'll let him. But most people just posting purely because they're like, oh, we're going to get loads of views on this. And then they're celebrating because they got loads of views. Who actually cares? If it's a business or you're a social media manager, it doesn't matter how many views you get unless that's converting into leads or sales. Just does not matter. So like, why are we focusing on that still?
We've looked at all our analytics, and the reels of ours that do really well view-wise don't necessarily translate to good, more sales, more leads at all.
No, they don't even translate to more followers.
No, and sometimes when we've created that piece of content, it has been to increase our reach because of we're trying to be strategic in whatever we're doing that week or month or whatever. But they rarely, get us sales or leads, which is obviously our main aim.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't bear it. It's like how I got 100k views. Like so much of social media is down to luck. And when it comes to things like that, I don't care what anyone says. I have gone viral for multiple clients now. And it's never a good thing. Never a good thing, but it's also never been necessarily planned. Like, don't get me wrong, it's always been good content, etc. But, I haven't planned to get 15 million views on a video. But it always then comes with headaches. And I think it's just all bullshit. I think,
I think there are people out there who need views because they get paid, like, for example, if you're on YouTube, for example, ad revenue and all of that. That is important.
Well, and TikTok.
But, yeah, exactly. But it's not important if you're a business and your revenue doesn't come from the platforms, your revenue comes from your customers.
No, and I think this is a big problem, and maybe this is a whole different podcast, but there are content creators and there are social media marketers. The two are not the same.
No.
And there are people out there who are creating TikToks because they've got to be more than a minute so they can make loads of money on them. So they're there doing their get ready with me and it lasts a minute, or they're there making their soup in front of the camera talking shit because it lasts a minute.
Yeah, or boiling water. I saw someone literally do a video boiling water in a pan. It was an American teaching you how to boil water. Got so many views.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
It's like we, as social media marketers, do not fall into that bracket.
No.
We are not we are not content creators. So, and business owners, they're not content creators. They are businesses trying to sell something.
They create content, but they're not content.
But they're not content creators.
Confusing, isn't it? It's confusing.
And it is confusing. But the problem lies when people start learning from a content creator. So when a content creator says, do this, do that, do this, they're not talking to business owners. They're talking to other content creators who want to make money off, like bloggers, I guess. Like years ago, they're now kind of classed as content creators. They're not talking to us as business owners. So everyone just needs to stop listening because their strategies are going to be very different for someone who's trying to sell a product or a service.
Yeah, and the same goes for like when you're listening to good old Mozzo in his cardigan on Instagram and he's telling you like what you need to do. He's telling you these things because he wants your audience to stay on Instagram. So he's going to tell you how you can get more real views, for example, because it's important to him as the platform owner that people stay on the platform and they don't go off of the platform. Whereas you don't want people to stay on the platform. You want people to get off of the platform and go over to the website to go and buy something or to go and email you to book a call or what have you. So them staying on the platform is not a benefit to you.
Yeah. But again, I think people watch Mozerai and his videos and take everything as
At face
it's aimed to
value.
them. But he is talking to content creators, business owners, everyday users who just like using Instagram. They're not just talking to business owners or social media managers.
No, he's talking to everyone with one goal of keeping people on Instagram. That is his goal. And that's not our goal or your goal.
No.
Which actually leads me on to another one, which is that I really wish, and maybe, am I surprised? Probably not. But like, we've been doing this podcast for quite a few years now. Prior to that, we've been creating content about social media marketing for quite a few years. And yet people still think that social media is a really quick job.
Yeah.
It's really easy. It's really quick. It's like, what? No.
And I think now in the year that we're in, is everyone now thinks it can just be automated and bashed out quickly.
Yeah.
And I think in the world of marketing, I think social media is probably the least of all marketing avenues that can be automatable.
Yeah. And actually, I think it's probably the hardest of all marketing as well, because it's so different all the time. Like with email marketing, for example, you can create an email campaign and then that might run for months. You might change a few things here and there, but it's the same thing running. Social media is like changing every day. We're creating new content every day. It's hard. It's a difficult job. And I think if people really just kind of took stock of how much work they're doing and how hard their job is, they wouldn't be undercharging for a start. You would put your prices up and businesses would start to realise, hang on, this is a really valuable service.
But there is still, and this is an opportunity for social media managers, there is still a lack of understanding of what could actually be achieved by good social media marketing. I think businesses feel like they have to be on social because they have to show up, they have to be there, so that in their mind, it's about being there. It's being there because their competitors are there. It's being there because everyone says you've got to be there. What they don't understand, because potentially they've never achieved that, is that social media can be a huge driver in their business growth with sales and leads, both organically and paid. And because people haven't seen those successes, because they've just been doing their own social, they've just been putting shit content out, or they've, a bit sporadic, there's no strategy, there's no consistency, all of that. They've therefore not seen the results, which means that they therefore think that it's just a quick job. And there is so much education that needs to happen. And it's difficult. It's difficult for us as social media marketers to educate businesses, because unfortunately, we live in a world where there are a load of scammers, there are a load of bullshitters, and they potentially have had their fingers burnt before. And therefore they think, nah, I'm not going to take on anyone else. I'm not going to pay anyone else. I'm not going to pay in advance. I'm not going to do that. No, you're going to rip me off. I'm not going to give you my password. All of these things that we see daily happening. And so it's hard. It's hard, so hard. And building trust is so important as a marketer when you're marketing yourself. Building trust, getting referrals, positioning yourself away from being a scammer or dodgy, creating good content, building a community are all so important. And I've gone off on a bit of a tangent, but it's 100% not like we did a reel, didn't we? It's a few weeks back about like kind of taking the piss a little bit on this social media. Plan your social media in a year, or do a month's worth of content a month worth of content in an hour. It's that kind of bullshit. Like there is somebody who does. She's got some ads, or he has got some ads running at the moment on. I think it is plan your year's content in a day. I can't remember what it is now.
Well, and on the reel, we'd put how to create a year's worth of content in an hour.
Oh, well, there we go. And I can't remember what this woman's actually offering, but I kept getting served the ads. And it was actually quite nice to read the comments, because all the comments were like, this is bullshit. You can't do this. Marketing doesn't work like this. So it is nice, and it is refreshing to see that so many people are also aware that it's just a complete scam. But again, those businesses who lack the understanding of what good social media marketing will think, oh, you know what? I could sit down and bash out a whole year's worth of content. I'm going to sign up for this, and then I can forget about social media for the rest of the year. And like, there's so much wrong with that.
Mm. So what's the solution then? Social media managers creating better content to educate people around that?
Yeah.
Because I can't see that going on its own.
No, that people, not everyone's going to listen to this podcast.
No, funny enough.
It would be nice.
I mean, pass it on whilst you're listening, share it with a friend so that they can.
Share. It's down to social media marketers to be creating good content that educates people on this, and not just once, and repeat it and repeat that message.
Yeah, and like, it doesn't have to even be like really serious. Like, the reel that we put out was funny. Maybe we'll link it in the show notes. But it was funny. Like, you can create funny educational content, or some other type of emotion. It doesn't have to be really serious. This is what you're doing wrong. Don't listen to this kind of it can be entertaining,
lighthearted too.
Yeah, lighthearted. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, the next one is something that it just flabbergasts me, and that is the state of Meta.
That's it. We don't need to say anything else to explain what we mean by that.
But honestly, this year in particular, the accounts being hacked, the accounts just being taken down randomly, the accounts, people being locked out. Honestly, it feels like we are constantly, if maybe not quite daily, but very regularly, are getting message from people in our world going, please can you help me? I can't get into my account, or please can you help me? My account's been hacked, or please can you help me? Their Instagram won't give me access because I haven't got the code. Like, all of this and I tell people about it who are not in the social media world. They're like, how the hell can that happen? How can Meta let that happen? And these are people who are following the rules. They've got their 2-factor switched on. They're doing everything that everyone tells you to do, but yet their accounts are still being compromised. And this is people's businesses. And I know, we are the biggest kind of advocates for saying people shouldn't be building their business purely on social media. Everyone needs to be building an email list. Like, I get that and I stand by that, obviously, but it doesn't change the fact that it can be a huge problem. It can be a massive problem for, there's a lot of hard work that goes into building a business and building a social media profile and a following and a community, and it can just go in an instant.
And I think, I can't understand why in this day and age, when businesses are basically reliant on social media in that way, why there is no regulation around it. Like, imagine a bank doing that. And yes, a bank is full of money, so it's slightly different, but it's still value. And what you've got in your audience, for example, is still value. It's still of a value to your business, just like money is. So why are banks regulated, but social media isn't regulated? Why would everyone be up in arms if your bank got hacked and somebody would help you to fix it, but no one is fixing it when your business social media channels get hacked? It just blows my mind that this is still a thing. I just
think Meta needs to be held to account, but no one's big enough or seems to have any impact.
And there's all the conversations around, sorting Meta and all the other platforms out for security as safety purposes when it comes to children, for example. But there's nothing being done on the same kind of scale, or even anything, I don't think, when it comes to businesses, which I think is important and somebody needs to be doing. We are not taking this on, by the way. I can see her thinking, campaign. We are not taking this on. No. Someone needs to take this on. It won't be us. But yeah, it needs sorting.
It does. And I just feel sorry for everybody who is going through the shit show that is navigating Meta, because it's not just that these things happen, it's that these things happen and then there is no way to try to rectify it. There's no way to speak to anybody.
Yes,
you just pass from pillar to post. You paid for bloody Meta Verified, which gives you this extra support, but then you can't even access that because you can't access your accounts. It's just, honestly, it's just ridiculous. And it's a total scam. We need Watchdog on the case.
Totally.
Panorama.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Everyone who is having these problems, most of them are only getting fixed because they go to the media.
Yeah.
And like that shouldn't be the case.
No.
But anyway, I think that's more than an ick, though.
The media won't be interested soon because it happens so much. It's not news, is it?
True. That is very true. Yeah. Anyway, back to our icks.
That's a big one. That is a big. It's a big ick.
Yeah.
It's a one.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay, I've got an ick.
On.
The viral mentality of people that they just want to go viral. Like we talked about likes and stuff already, but people who just want to go viral and the pressure that everyone else wanting that is putting on you as a social media manager. It's the pressure of it that gives me the ick. When a client is like, oh, but so-and-so's gone viral, I need to go viral. It like that pressure just makes me feel like, why are we putting that pressure on people? And why is everyone still so focused on the vanity metrics side of things?
And it's not just the pressure to do that. It's the feeling of failure.
Yeah.
That when you've done a good post, great post, it's done well, but because it's not gone viral, you therefore think that post is shit, where actually it isn't.
And like some people would have put a post out, it maybe has got 10 likes. One person sent them a message that started a conversation. That person in a year's time could become a client. To me, that means that post has done well.
Yeah.
You know, if somebody's ended up on your website and they've spent some money, even if it's only a £5, that post has done well. That post was free. It went out and it generated some revenue. Therefore, I think that's a good post. The fact that it hasn't gone viral and 1 million people haven't seen it is irrelevant.
Yeah.
But yet we all think of ourselves as failures because the pressure is coming from everybody else who's like, I've gone viral again. I always go viral. And it's like, gee, I'll tell you what, if we went viral, I think I would probably throw up. I don't want that to happen in our lives.
Yeah, it's like, and as I said before, like I've had it happen with clients, and so the most recent time, the client came to me like not annoyed, but he was like, we're getting loads of inquiries from people from America. And this is a UK-based business and they can only sell to UK. And he's like, can you just stop that?
Yeah, can you just turn it off? Turn the viral button off.
I can't, sorry. But I can take the post down. He was like, why would you do that? And I was like, it's very, very frustrating.
Yeah.
Hugely.
Yeah. But I would love people to just kind of take a step back and just take themselves out of that pressure for next year and just not worry about what other people are doing and other people's viral mentality. It shouldn't have an impact on you.
Yeah, and there's also content opportunity in this as well. There's so much content opportunities in this podcast.
There really is. Go back and listen again.
Yeah, bring your pen and paper. And I also, this is the thing that I have recently bugged me is, and I am talking specifically about one particular business when I say this, but I know they are not the only ones, but it's people teaching social media marketing where they're using shoddy, dodgy bots in their own social media marketing. And I really
want to know who you're talking about, but don't say it on a podcast so we don't get sued.
I'm not going to say it.
Tell me afterwards.
I will tell you afterwards, but I was doing some snooping. A little bit of research, should we say, competitor analysis, and then I got hit by their bots. And it's, I've screenshotted it and I'm going to put it in a frame and it's going to make me feel better about life. But I just think everyone just needs to do their due diligence when looking for help as a social media manager. Yes, we are obviously here to try and help as many of you, but if you want to go elsewhere, then we obviously can't stop you. But my advice would always be, do your due diligence. Not everybody is as good as they make out they are. And that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, because I think often this goes back to the viral stuff, doesn't it? Often people are judging people's expertise and whether or not they should be teaching social media, for example, based on how many followers they've got or how many views their last reel got and what have you, not based on like the actual tactics that they're going to learn from them. Yeah,
and you just got to remember when someone is selling a course about being good at social media, whether it's aimed at businesses or whether it's aimed at social media marketers, it's much easier to go viral, to get big view numbers, to get big follower numbers when your content is all, I don't know, like sat on a beach in Barbados, than if you are trying to sell a market stall in Bromsgrove, town centre on a miserable, cloudy day.
And if you're speaking to everybody, like your content is probably going to go viral, but it's not going to convert to sales.
Yeah.
Whereas if you want things to convert to sales, you need to speak more niche.
Yeah. It's just annoying, and it's currently a personal ick of mine.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so those are the icks we want to get rid of, but what do we actually want to keep and take into next year? I've got one if you want me to go first.
Feel free.
Okay, I want to keep next year entertaining content. I spend a lot of my life scrolling through social media, and I feel like there is a balance that people could bring in when they're marketing a business that brings in the entertainment. So I can't really think of any examples other than the reels that are on our page, but we try to have a good balance of like how-to content, value-added content, entertaining content, and because it's the entertaining stuff that we are all on social media for. Like, let's be honest, the other stuff falls into our feed, and we're like, oh, okay, this is good too. But it's the entertaining stuff that I definitely don't want people to get rid of. And the reason I say that is because we've just spoken on this podcast quite a few times now about going viral, about posting just for likes and all of that stuff. I don't want you to stop posting entertaining content because you don't think you should do it because of what we just said. But entertaining content is still a really important part of your strategy. So don't think, oh, no, I'm not going to do it because I'm not focused on going viral. Entertaining content doesn't just have to be created for that purpose. It's the content that resonates with the audience where they're going, oh yeah, no, I get that. Oh my God, that's so me. Oh my God, yes, that annoys me as well. Do you know what I mean? It's that sort of stuff.
But remember, entertaining isn't just for the lols, is it?
Oh,
entertaining
no.
can be something that's really interesting. And
like
some of the content I've got, I watch now, is really random, but I find it really entertaining, and not because I'm rolling
what was
around.
It you were telling me you were watching the other day? Something about a horse.
Horses. I still watch them. I am honestly. I every day will go and check what's happening with the horses. I am obsessed by it.
Is it the same horses?
Yeah. It's the same. Okay. There's 17 horses, and they live on the fell up in Cumbria. I don't even actually know where they are. And she just talks about the horses. She goes and checks on them. She's got some in the love field because she's trying to get them to have babies. It's just a little bit funny sometimes, but it's just quite interesting. And it's because they live out like essentially wild, but then obviously owned by her. And then she loses them. She can't find them. Then she's sharing where she's got a tracker on 2 of them. But if the 2 of them split up, and what happens if some of them ones without the trackers go wandering off? And then the other day, someone went wandering off with one of the baby foals. It's great. It's quite. It's just nice. You know, when you just escape.
Yeah.
It's just nice.
Easy to watch. I escape. I don't escape, but I love, because I see them so many in my Explore feed now, because obviously I watch them, is videos about alligators. I see so many videos about alligators, and I'm like, oh, is this going to be a big one when it gets out of the water? Oh, wait. Oh my God, it's massive. Or then I'm like, oh my God, this sounds really dodgy, this podcast.
It's totally.
Then when the small one comes out and you're like, oh, is that it?
Wow, we need to take the audio clip of just that last bit and put that on that could be the Instagram reel audio.
Watch that go viral.
Anyway, but I appreciate obviously doing content about horses on a fell or alligators. Might not fall into your niche, but the point is, as Laura says, people come on social media, like users, like the everyday person, because they want to be entertained. They want to see what people are up to. They're not coming on, oh, let's go and see what products and services are going to be sold to me now. That's just not what people want. To be fair, I don't think anyone actually thinks about why they go on social media now. They just go on it because everyone's addicted to it. But
habit.
So definitely we want to see more entertaining content going forward. And I also want to continue to see good sales posts.
Yeah, more of that, definitely.
That fear of selling and showing up and is a thing. And I just think we need to get over that, because that's what we're here to do. And I think seeing more of that and keeping it and getting more of that is fine by me.
Yeah, I agree. And I think when it comes to sales posts, a lot of people don't put them out because they're worried about what other people will think. They're like, oh, will I look desperate? Or will people think I'm being too pushy? Or will people think I'm being too salesy? And I think there's a big mindset shift you need to have with that, is that there's things you can control and there's things you can't control. You can control that you're going to create sales posts. You can control everything that's going to go in that sales post. You can control when you put it out. You can control what it looks like. You can't control other people's reactions to it. No. And if you're worried about the people who are going to have negative reaction, for as many negative reactions, there will be as many, if not more, positive reactions. And you can't control whether they're good or bad. So why are you worried about controlling the bad ones when you're not worried about controlling the good ones?
Yeah.
So let's just get over that, realise what we can control, and just put sales content out.
Like when McDonald's put their posts out selling their new burgers, do you think they look desperate?
Oh my God, they are so desperate for people to buy their burgers. It's unbelievable. I'm not going to buy one of theirs.
Exactly. Let's get a Burger King. Okay, anything else we want to keep in 2025?
Yes, on that kind of note, I want to keep strategic campaigns that make you money. So not just sales content, sales posts, willy-nilly here and there, but actual strategic campaigns that people put together with the aim of this campaign is going to make me money, grow my email list, get me more leads, whatever it is. But actual, proper campaigns. I feel like people have forgotten about campaigns. They've forgotten about how content works together. And a lot of people are just focusing on living in the moment with today's post is this and tomorrow's post is that, and they're not related.
Yeah, I agree. There's too many just one post sales posts and not part of a kind of strategic campaign.
Yeah,
I agree.
Not just with the sales part of it, but the whole lead up to that, the whole campaign working together. That's definitely something I want to see more of next year.
I'll see what I can do.
Okay. You get on it. I'll go and lay on a beach somewhere.
Okay, so that was it. That's what we're hoping personally. It's just our opinions.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Said with love.
Said with love. You can disagree, and if you do, come and talk to us about it. We'd absolutely love to hear your point of view. And
yes, because maybe love a good debate.
We've maybe not thought about it from your perspective, and that's absolutely fine. So come and tell us. But also, I would also love to know what your icks are, because there will be many more. Like when I was writing this list, I only stopped because you came around. So, I probably could have gone on and on and on.
So is there going to be a part 2? Is that what you're saying?
Maybe. Yeah, so just let us know what your icks have been. We'd love to know. Come and find. We're generally hanging around on Instagram, so do come and find us. We'll pop all the links in the show notes. And we'll be back next year. No, we won't.
Well, we will, but we'll also be back next week.
We'll be back next week. Sorry, too much
not the end of the year quite yet.
No.
Laura hasn't got a time machine.
No, I'm not taking the whole of December off.
So we'll see you next week.
See you next week. Yeah, we'll be here.
Ta-ra!
Bye.